We're headed south in today's video to not only remember the Alamo, but to chant, "Go Spurs, go!" Hey, welcome to Lurks Lessons, a monthly channel where I explain what you need to know in becoming a sports fan of a professional or collegiate team. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing by clicking the button below. So your spouse loves hanging out with the new neighbors, and after so many visits, you're still having trouble connecting with them. However, you discover that they are Spurs fans, and voila, you have an option. Trouble is, you have no idea who the Spurs are. Have no fear, for my name is Jeff Lurkey, and here's what you need to know and how to be a San Antonio Spurs fan. Located in South Central Texas, the San Antonio Spurs play in the Western Conference of the National Basketball Association. Their division is the Southwest Division that they share with 4 other teams. Their colors are silver, black, and white. The Spurs' achievements over the years are noteworthy. 5 NBA championships, 6 conference titles, 22 divisional titles with 9 retired jerseys and 12 members in the NBA Hall of Fame. Fun fact, the team was founded in 1967 as the Dallas Chaparrals and played in the American Basketball Association, or ABA, with 10 other members. There was poor attendance in the team's early beginnings, and in an attempt to draw more people regionally, the team changed their name to the Texas Chaparrals in 1970. The change didn't improve their situation, so the team was up for sale in 1973 and were relocated to San Antonio. The relocation also gave the new owners an opportunity to change the team's nickname to the Gunslingers, but settled on the Spurs before the 1973-74 season tip-off. The citizens of San Antonio immediately fell in love, and the team has stayed ever since, even after the ABA-NBA merger of 1976. With the basics covered, I'm now going to give you my starting 5 of outstanding players that wore the silver and black throughout its history. At point guard, I have Tony Parker, or TP. The 6'2 Frenchman was selected number 28 in the first round of the 2001 NBA draft by the Spurs, and has played for the silver and black for 17 years during his career. 4-time NBA champion, an NBA Finals MVP in 2007, 6-time NBA All-Star, Parker is the Spurs' all-time career assist leader with 6,829. Today, the Frenchman plays for the Hornets and is easily a future Hall of Famer. For shooting guard, I got Manu Ginobili. Nicknamed Manudona after the legendary Argentinian soccer player Maradona, Ginobili became a clutch player for the Spurs throughout his entire 16 NBA season career with the franchise. The 6'6 Argentinian went on to become a 4-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA All-Star, and an NBA Sixth Man of the Year award in 2008. For the franchise, Ginobili is the Spurs' all-time career leader in steals and 3-point field goals made. In 2019, his number was retired. At the small forward position, I'm easily taking George Gervin. Known as the Iceman, Gervin was arguably the first superstar for the franchise dating back to their ABA years when he was sold from the Virginia Squires in 1974. 6'7" Gervin went on to play 12 seasons with the Spurs, achieving accolades that include a 4-time NBA scoring champion, 9-time NBA All-Star, and was an NBA All-Star Game MVP in 1980. Using his signature finger roll shot move, Gervin achieved franchise scoring records that were held for decades until our next guy broke them in the 2000s. His jersey retired, the Iceman was inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1996. At power forward, it's a no-brainer. Tim Duncan will go down in history as one of the best power forwards to ever play the position. Remember what I said about George Gervin having those franchise scoring records? This is the guy that surpassed him. Standing tall at 6'11", the big fundamental spent his entire 19-year NBA career with the Spurs. The Wake Forest prodigy was the number 1 overall pick in the 1997 NBA draft and became a 5-time NBA champion, NBA Rookie of the Year in 1998, 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 15-time NBA All-Star, and was a 2-time NBA MVP. Duncan closed out his career as the Spurs franchise leader in points scored with 26,496 points. With his jersey retired, it's a matter of time before number 21 gets his ticket into the Hall of Fame. Finally, at the center position, I got the Admiral, David Robinson. The Navy midshipman alum was also the #1 overall pick in the 1987 NBA draft by the Spurs, and was a huge asset in turning the franchise into a future prominent championship team. The 7'1" big man was a 2-time NBA champion, 10-time NBA All-Star, and an NBA MVP in 1995, and is one out of 4 players to have recorded a quadruple-double. Spending his entire 14-year career with the Silver and Black, Robinson's jersey is retired and has a well-deserved spot in the Hall of Fame. And that's your all-time Spurs starting 5. So get this, Tim Duncan and David Robinson's careers overlapped, giving the Spurs a dynamic duo that opponents had trouble defending against. They were coined the Twin Towers, and they flexed their muscle in winning an NBA title together in 1999 and in 2003. But it is also worth noting on who led the Twin Towers in multiple championships, and he is easily our fan favorite spotlight. Head coach Gregg Popovich is an NBA legendary coach and is one of a kind. Since coaching the Spurs since 1996, Pop has established a culture of shutdown defense and making the extra pass offense that has recognized the Spurs basketball team as one of the toughest opponents to play. During his tenure, he has achieved to be a 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA Coach of the Year, and a 4-time NBA All-Star head coach. Currently, he has over 1,200 wins in over 275 playoff games. Entering his 23rd year, Spurs Nation can't imagine anyone else leading the team and will always be a fan favorite. Now that we got the names covered, let's dive into some memorable plays that cemented their respective spot in Spurs history. It's what I like to call snapshots. Snapshots are memorable moments in sports that are summarized by catchy phrases to easily commemorate the play at hand. Every sports team has them, so which one should you know as a Spurs fan? There's quite a few to choose from, but in today's lesson, we'll highlight Elliott's Memorial Day Miracle. During Game 2 of the 1999 Western Conference Finals against the Portland Trail Blazers, the Spurs called a timeout with 12 seconds to go in the game, being down 83-85. Spurs guard Mario Elie inbounded the ball near half court to Spurs small forward Sean Elliott beyond the three-point arc. Turning towards the basket on his tiptoes, Elliott was careful not to plant his heels, for he would have been out of bounds, thus turning the ball over to the other team. With a Trailblazer coming at him to defend, Elliott launched the ball and made the three-point shot, giving the Spurs their first lead in the entire game with 9 seconds to go. The Spurs ended up not only winning that game, but proceeded to advance in winning their first NBA championship in franchise history. To say that San Antonio fans were going crazy after that shot is an understatement. Woo-hoo-hoo! Alright, this is the last thing we need to go over, and it's the most important information that you need to know before you impress your neighbors. Let's be upfront in saying that the Spurs have some teams in the NBA that do not like them, and hey, that's okay. So to say that the Spurs have one overall rival is just nonsense and highly debatable. But just like the saying goes, everything is bigger in Texas, the Spurs have not only one, but 3 main rivals. Instead of going into each one with a lot of detail, we'll just focus on the highlights on why we can't decide on which team is our bigger rival. The Los Angeles Lakers. Just saying that out loud makes me wince. The Lakers' rivalry stems from memorable postseason series matchups with legendary players from both squads squaring off primarily during the late 90s and early 2000s. Since 1999, the teams have squared off in the playoffs 7 times, and get this, the teams have each won the NBA title from 1999 to 2003. The Dallas Mavericks. We all know who were the first team in Dallas, right? Dallas Chaparrals ring a bell? When the Spurs relocated to San Antonio in 1973, the city of Dallas was without a pro team until 1980 when the Mavs came into the NBA. Since then, the in-state rival has been chippy from its beginning because, let's be real, there's only one team that rules Texas in the NBA, and they wear the silver and black. The Houston Rockets. Another in-state rival? You bet. This rival is coined the I-10 rival since both cities are connected by the interstate highway. Mainly for bragging rights, the rival peaked in the mid-90s where our boy the Admiral squared off against the Rockets Hall of Famer Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Did I say 3 teams? Well, there's honestly one more, the honorable mention Phoenix Suns. This rival stemmed from the playoffs as well, but went to a whole different level in 2007, where our boy Tim Duncan squared off against Steve Nash and the Suns. ejections, suspensions, and blood, sweat, tears were all experienced in the 6-game series that the Spurs survived, coining the series the real finals. Yeah, I give up. I don't know which one to pick as our main rival, so the choice is yours. Just don't pick wrong. Alright, let's recap. The Spurs play in the Southwest Division. They have 5 NBA championships, 5 franchise legends. Pop is the godfather. Elliott's three-point shot is historic. And you dislike the Lakers, Mavericks, Rockets, or Suns. So, represent the silver and black well during your next dinner party with the neighbors. Not only are you going to win them over with one conversation, but you're more importantly already accepted into Spurs Nation. Go Spurs, go! Go Spurs, go! Hey guys, thanks for watching today's Lurks Lessons video. Please consider subscribing to the channel and also leave some comments what other cool things Spurs fans really need to know. While you're at it, leave some suggestions what other fan bases I need to showcase next. Alright, we'll see you guys next time.